All right. Hello, everyone. How are you? Everybody, can you use the chat? Okay, just write a hello or, greet everybody, greet each other. Let's greet each other. Please write hi or hello or however you greet. However you greet. Guys, use the chat. Use the chat. Hello, hi. I see two. Only two people. Guys, others, everybody. Come on, come on, come on. We can do it. Hello, hi, hi. That's good. Okay. So, okay, one thing before I start the session, before I do anything, okay, is that, I want your full, full attention for next, you know, few minutes or few hours, right? So, why? Because I'm going to be explaining, I hope everybody knows, what is the title, Mastering Full Stack Development, right? So, I hope everybody understands that what we are here to do. Okay. You might not understand what exactly is a full stack development, but you might have a good idea about web development or full stack development or something like that, right? Only then you guys are here, correct? Okay. Before getting started, guys, I'm Abhay. Okay, and I've been, communicating with fabulous people like you all for about now 5 years, right? So I had privilege of, mentoring over 3,000 aspiring full stack developers, and many of my students have successfully launched their careers, are in in a great position right now, in big fours or startups or wherever they wanted to work, right? So again, you might come here for many different reasons. Maybe you might come here to learn something new. Maybe you might come here because you want to make something, some product, right? Whatever it is, I think this session will help you out to understand what exactly is full stack development. Okay. How do we build apps with full stack development? Cool. So everyone, I hope you are ready. Please write ready in the chat so that I understand that you are with me right now and you are fully focusing on the PPT and me. Ready, ready. I have two ready. Only two. Guys, others, come on. Everyone, please. Yes, ready. Nice. Nice. Good to go. Nice. Very nice. Cool. Then let's get started, guys. Okay. So first of all, see, I'm not going to tell you things that you already know. Okay. I'm going to put things in a position that you will actually understand full stack development well. Okay. Because I believe that people do not exactly understand what full stack development is. Okay. So today we'll actually understand that. Okay. So this is the bigger picture. Okay, guys, I have two screens set up. This is my first screen. This is my second screen. So, I will like your chats are here. Okay, your PPT is here and I can see you here. Okay. So there are two screens set up. So guys, we are talking about the bigger picture of full stack development currently. Okay. So everybody, I hope you know that basically full stack development is all of, okay, before getting to that, how many of you know about full stack development? Yes, no. How many of you are aware about full stack development? Yes, I see yes in the chat. Three yeses. That's good. Okay. Yes, that's good. Okay. So basically, guys, if you are not that much aware about it, think like this. Okay. Let's take one of the scenario of full stack development. Okay. Let's say there is a mobile app. Let's say there is a mobile app, whatever app you use. You might use LinkedIn, you might use Instagram, you might use Snapchat, whatever app you use, right? It's an example of a full stack app. Okay. It has a backend, it has a front end, it has a database. Okay. It has a deployment unit, everything. Okay. So that is what a full stack app looks like, basically. Okay. I hope everybody's on the same page. Cool. Now we are going to talk about a bit more than that. Okay. So here, if you see front end, the visible part of an application interacting directly with users. Now, can anybody give me idea, example of a front end app? Just front end. What is front end? Give me any idea. Any example works, anything works. Write in the chat. Please write in the chat, guys, everyone. Any idea, any example of a front end app? Speed.net, okay. Now give me real world example. I'm looking for a real world example. What exactly is a front end app? It's the UI visible to the user. Yes, the icon looks for the app. Yep, yep, yep. Okay. So basically, let's say everybody knows about online shopping. Everybody does shopping, online shopping, Amazon.com. Everybody knows about Amazon. Yes, no, yes, no in the chat. Come on. Right? So everybody knows about Amazon. Everybody goes to Amazon, uses the UI, logs in, goes to, sees product. All the UI, the user interface that you see is front end, correct? But it does not limit there. Okay. In full stack development, that's not only the thing that we are talking about. We are also talking about this. Hey Siri, what's the time?
It's 3:06 p.m.
This is front end. Meaning any voice device, any device which user interacts with. I'm the user, right? And I interacted with my voice. I hope everybody got the point, right? So that is a front end. Okay. Like you might have an Alexa device. Alexa is Amazon's product, which is just meant, it's like just a voice device which you can talk to. Okay. Alexa is just basically a voice device which you can talk to. Okay. That is a front end device. Is it making sense? Yes, no? Come on, guys. Yes. So again, guys, let's understand and let's go to the boundary. Okay, let me give you one more example. Have you heard about Tesla? Tesla, the brand Tesla. Yes, no? Yes, everybody has heard about it, right? So we can consider the car Tesla as the front end. Okay, why? It's an automatic car. I hope everybody knows, right? It runs through, something called a LiDAR system is there, image recognition and LiDAR. LiDAR is light detecting sensor. So it's like a small little sensor, not small, like in the car, it's like really big. They use really good sensor, really good LiDAR sensor. So basically what LiDAR sensor does is it rotates, okay? It rotates like this, like in a very high speed, it rotates and it shoots light beams. It shoots light beams. So it shoots light beam everywhere, like everywhere. Okay. It shoots light beam everywhere. Now what happens is when it goes to that wall, it comes back. When it comes back to the LiDAR, it knows the distance between the wall and the device itself. So like that, it maps how much far is what. You understand what I'm saying? It maps and then it creates a map and then it runs automatically, right? That happens in the back end, right? The car itself is the front end. Cool. So, guys, I hope you are understanding the deepness of this. When I'm saying full stack development, I'm not truly talking about web apps or apps. I'm talking about anything, about every single thing. Okay. Yes, we mostly will focus on things like web apps or apps like that. But we will also transcend and see how things work in this zone. Okay. So try to understand backend is the same. Front end is what changes. The user interface is what changes. User interface can be a voice. User interface can be a car. User interface can be a web app, whatever. Okay. It can be that VR set. Everybody knows about VR set. That's like next, I think everybody should know, right? We are going to just wear this glass and everything will be happening here, right? Okay. So that is a front end, right? You can build apps, VR apps, right? You can build VR apps. That is also done by some of the stacks we'll see today. Okay. So basically that's front end. Okay. And backend is super simple. Backend is just a lot of data, right? Processing a lot of data, writing logics, right? That's actually same for all of these apps. Does that make sense? That data part is basically same for all of these apps. Okay, is it making sense? Yes, no? Okay, let me give you example. Okay, so in Tesla, there are a lot of mobile applications. So when you open the mobile application of Tesla, if your car is running, it will show what speed it is running. So it is showing in the car as well what speed it is running, how it is doing stuff. In the mobile app also showing the same. So mobile app is also front end, car is also front end. But back end is same, which is giving data to both of them. Backend is same. Try to understand that. Okay. So when I talk about backend, I'm talking about the server side logic, right? I'm talking about the server side logic, the databases, the APIs. What are APIs? Don't worry right now. I'm going to tell you that. Okay. So yeah, so we are talking about all that. Cool. We are talking about deployment then. Deployment is basically a very simple thing. Okay. You can access amazon.com, yes or no? I mean, you can just go and write Amazon and Amazon will open. You can open the Amazon's website, right guys? Yes, no? Yeah. So try to understand, please try to understand this. Somebody is running Amazon's front end server. Okay, somebody is running Amazon's front end server in their computer or laptop, which we call server. Okay, somebody is running the code on a computer. Just look at it this way. Somebody is running code on their computer. They have made their computer public so that anybody can reach their computer. Okay, so this computer, basically when you write amazon.com, it's basically hitting a server, right? That server is basically like a computer, nothing else. Okay, you're just hitting it and you're just fetching amazon.com, correct? So that is how things happen, and I'm going to go in deeper and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to draw a lot, okay, in this session, so you will understand one by one what it is. So let's go to the first part. This is the bigger picture. Let's go one by one to each of the parts. Okay, everyone, are you ready? Yes, no? Everybody is ready to deep dive now? Yeah, yes, yes, nice. Okay, let's go. Front end development. Okay, so front end development is the art and science of crafting the user interface and experiences, right? Now, generally, when everything started, okay, everything started with HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay, try to understand why. Okay, when I'm talking about front end development, specifically, I'm talking about when internet was just there. At that time, used to write HTML, CSS, JavaScript, these three things. Okay, now let me actually take you back a little bit. Okay, so anybody can tell me here, before I can tell you this, what is internet? Like, what exactly is internet, or what is internet doing? Let's make it simpler. Anyone in the chat, come on. What is internet? What is internet doing exactly? Connecting devices. Yes. Wow. That's a very straightforward answer. Guys, others, I want to know your thinking. Okay. So everybody put your thinking in the chat. Even if it is wrong, it's fine if it is wrong. If it is right, it's fine as well. Doesn't matter. Put your thinking in the chat. Okay. That's very important. Communication via www, connection of devices. Okay. That's good. Okay. It's collection of, okay, yeah, collection of several networks are formed by connecting several devices. Cool. Cool. Okay, let me stop sharing once. Okay, let me stop sharing and let me start sharing my screen. Okay, generally in the sessions, like in the full sessions, we do PPT for a while and then we code most of the time. So coding is like the primary thing that we do. So let me just open this. Okay, share. Okay, everyone, let me know if you can see my screen. Yes, no, maybe. Everybody can see my screen? Yes, yes, fantastic. So basically, what I got the definition from the chat, I'm going to take that. Okay. And I'm going to basically say that, let's say there are a lot of computers, right? There are a lot of computers. Let's say these computers. If I connect these computers with each other, and if they can share documents with each other, right? If they can share documents with each other, the internet is been created. Correct? The internet is been created. Now everybody can share documents with each other, see things, do things. Correct, everyone? Okay. So that is what basic internet looks like. Okay, I understand. Now what happened is, uh, so let's say this guy thinks that I'm going to make Amazon.com. This is Jeff Bezos, let's say. Okay, so thinking about making Amazon.com. Okay, so it creates Amazon.com. So Amazon.com. I'm assuming that browsers are already there. Okay, they create Amazon.com. Okay, so Amazon.com created. Okay, but it's not that simple. Try to understand. Okay, so try to understand, each of these are computers, right? These circles are computers, correct? These are computers. Yes, no, guys? These are computers. Each of the computers have a address. Each of these computers have what? Have address. Address looks like this. So let's say this guy has address of 217.123.172.222. Oh, what? I was not able to write. Oh, that's weird. 21207. Yeah, it's fine. Dot 123.122.134. Okay. So this is the address of this computer. Okay. And let me create address for each one of them. And addresses are unique. Okay. Addresses are unique. Please understand, addresses are unique. It cannot be like the case that, everybody having like two computer cannot have same addresses. Okay. We call them IP addresses specifically. Don't worry into the, okay, do not worry about specific details. Just understand the thing. Okay. So these are IP addresses, by the way, guys. Okay. Now, for example, if you give me your house address exactly, like house number this, building this, building name this, apartment name this, street name this, city this, country this, pin code this, zip code this, whatever, right? If you give me that, can I reach your home? Yes or no? Very simple answer. If you give me your whole address, proper address, can I reach your home? Yes. Yes, because your address, your house number, your street number, like everything becomes unique. It's your own house. Very simple, right? A very simple fact. So like that, each computer has their own addresses. Okay. Now in this addresses, this computer can, make things public. Like let's say, in this computer, there are a lot of ports. Now what are ports? It's like you might be running multiple applications, correct? You don't only run one application. You don't only go to one website, right? You go to multiples. You go to google.com, you go to amazon.com, you go to this, you go to that, you open Outlook in your, like, Outlook, the mail, right? So whatever apps you open which is connected to internet, right? So all those apps have something called a port number. Okay, that's what makes them special. Okay, so let's say this computer, says that the port number for amazon.com. So see, this whole IP address is for the computer. Please understand, this whole address is for the computer. I'm talking about where is amazon.com. So in your house, let's say amazon.com occupies one room. Is it clear? In this house, in your computer, amazon.com occupies one room. Okay, that room has having a room number. Yes or no? Room can have a room number, right, guys? Everybody are understanding what I'm saying? Yes. So let's say that room number is colon. Let's say I'll give a colon, like, to make a space, colon, and room number is 6000. Okay, single colon, not double colon. So I've given a colon. If you see, I've given a colon. Okay, and if you see, guys, the room number is 6000. Everybody? Okay. So in our computers, there are a lot of rooms. Basically, think about it like that. Okay. So this room is actually Amazon.com. Okay. I'm binding it to a word called Amazon.com. Okay, you tell me which is easy, to remember this or to remember this. To remember Amazon.com or this number. What is easier? The name Amazon.com is easy, absolutely. That is why they did this. You know, if you know the IP address, if you know the both. Okay, we have very few peoples like that for both, for whom both are easy. But generally, you won't remember it. I mean, I won't remember this at all. It's impossible for me. Okay, so I would remember Amazon.com though. It's a very good name, right? So that's why they gave the name, right? Now you might ask that, oh, okay. So Abhay, you are telling me that there is an IP address, right? If I find the IP address of google.com, can I open google.com? Yes, that is the point, right? That is the point. Okay. If you find IP of google.com, you can open google.com. That's their IIS name service. Yes, exactly. So I'm not going to go to the IIS name service and everything. So that's part of networking. Again, try to understand what's happening. Now, Amazon.com is this, right? So anybody says Amazon.com basically says that, hey, I want to open Amazon.com. So it comes to this server. Let's say this guy opens Amazon.com, comes to this server, right? Request, give a request to this server. Hey, I'm going to request you to please let me open Amazon.com. Correct? So the other house says that I want to use your service. Want to use your room service. I want to request you that, hey, please let me open Amazon.com. Same thing, it gets a response that, yeah, sure, why not? The response says, sure, why not? Please take it. It sends all the necessary files and everything over the response. And it renders the front end and basically sees Amazon.com. Okay, what files? The HTML files. How does it sends binary? The whole networking process, the OSI model. I'm not going to go to that. Okay, so I'm just going to go to one thing. It's a very easy thing. It just sends the required files. Okay, simple as that. What files? HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Let's keep it simple. Maybe some images as well. Some images which Amazon has. So those as well. So it sends it as a response. Everybody clear? And then you can see Amazon.com in your screen. Okay. So now let's talk about one more thing. So what does it sends? We are assuming it sends HTML, it sends CSS, it sends JS, correct? Now guys, try to understand browser, when browser were made, browsers understand only one programming language. Can anybody tell me what is that? Browser can understand only one programming language. Can anybody tell me what's that? Programming language. HTML is not a programming language. JavaScript, yes, that's the correct answer, guys. See, HTML is not a programming language. CSS is not a programming language. JavaScript is the only programming language here. Okay, then what is HTML? It's a markup language. And CSS is just script, writing scripts. Okay, yes, markup language, absolutely. So HTML is markup language, CSS is a script, and JavaScript is the programming language. Nice, very nice. And JavaScript is one of the most important thing to learn, full JavaScript. When I'm talking about full JavaScript, I'm talking about absolute knowledge of JavaScript, okay? Absolute knowledge about JavaScript. If you learn JavaScript properly, you can create any sort of apps, the VR apps, the web apps, React, Next, whatever you want to go, you can go, okay? But this is the absolute important thing, okay? And when I'm saying absolute full JavaScript, it has a lot of things, okay? A lot of things. Cool. Let me just, tell you a few things. Okay. Now, HTML is what? HTML is what you see. Okay. The name, the heading, the paragraph, whatever you see in the website is HTML. Then what is CSS? The colors, the style, the design, the layout. Okay. Basically, the styles is CSS. What is JavaScript? The actual thing, which is giving it, when you click somewhere, it does something. That action, is JavaScript, which is giving your UI, the life, okay, is JavaScript. Okay, again, I'm repeating, HTML is what you see directly, heading, paragraph, this, that, whatever, right? That is HTML. CSS is the style, colors, everything is basically CSS. Okay, JavaScript is basically what? Is basically the core of it. Okay, JavaScript is basically which is giving it power, HTML CSS power. Okay, the actions, when you click on somewhere, you click on buy now, API hits, all those kind of things is handled by JavaScript. All the actions, all the logic handled by JavaScript, front end logic. So can be C sharp. C sharp is not used here, buddy. C sharp, you can write backend on C sharp. Yes, for sure you can write backend on C sharp, not front end. Right now, when I'm talking about web front end, I'm going to talk about JavaScript specifically. Okay, cool. Now, once you understand this, okay, that, okay, whenever I open something, let's say Wikipedia, okay, if I open Wikipedia, if I search, like, let's say car, I'm just searching something. Okay, so this, like, you see this, whatever, you see this thing, right? This image kind of a thing, main menu, hamburger icon, this logo of Wikipedia, this image, this all things are HTML. And if you see the colors, right, this is blue color, very much important, even important than colors. Let me zoom it out. Why it is so zoomed in? Let me zoom it out. Okay, even important than colors and styles is basically, if you see, there is a layout. Okay, there is a layout. What I'm trying to say, please understand this. So if you see, there is a layout of this thing. Okay, I'm not sure why am I not able to do that. Okay, wait a second. I think I can do it with this. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is this. If you see, guys, there is a layout, right? Like, this is the website, right? It's divided into three parts. This is one part, correct? This is the main article part, correct? And this is the other part, the third part, correct? Not only that, it is further divided into heading, the paragraphs, the images, correct? I mean, it is all maintained properly, in a correct place. The layout I'm talking about. Everybody is understanding what I'm talking about? Yes, no? Yes, yes. So this layout that I'm talking about, is CSS, given by CSS. Not only colors, not only styles, not only font, not only that, every style, even the layout is given by CSS. Okay. Finally, when I searched car, I hope everybody noticed that when I searched car, it opened car. That is JavaScript. That is JavaScript. Okay, the actions that you do. Maybe if I go ahead and log in, you see there is a login, right? Everybody, there is a login. So that if I log in, like, it'll send the data to the server, and the server will, authenticate us based on if we have got it given correct information. That is all JavaScript. Okay. So three things that is very important. Now I see, but it can also be database driven. Yes, yes, that's what I'm saying. C sharp, you can use it in backend, which is database driven. Okay. Yes, so try to understand now this. Okay, guys, everybody focus here. So that's what front end is. Now, front end evolved. After some time, you might see that front end is evolved now. You might have you heard about React.js, Next.js? Yes, no? Have you heard about React.js, Next.js? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All of those are basically HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Node something. Node is backend. I'm going to talk about it. Okay. I'm going to talk about that as well. So React.js, Next.js, all these things are actually, it boils down to HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Please understand that. Okay. React was built up on top of JavaScript. Next was built on top of React. Is it making sense? So everything lastly finally boils down to HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay. So you need to understand that, this fact. But Then if everything was happening fine, like if everything was fine, right? If we are using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, that's what the server also gives us. Then why do we even learn React? Why do we even learn Next? Right, guys? Why do we even learn React? The reason is scalable. It's a scalable solution. What I mean by that is, let's say you are building a very big app. Okay, what is a very big app? Let's say Meta just, it's not just where you post and things, right? It has a lot of things. It has a ad manager. It has a, it has a lot of products inside of Meta, correct? Yes, no? Everybody knows Meta, right? Facebook, I'm talking about former Facebook, right? So it has a lot of things going on. So what happened is, like when you just write HTML, CSS, JavaScript, after sometimes you will feel overwhelmed. The code will be too much to see. Okay. So React was made out of JavaScript. Okay. React was made out of JavaScript, saying that, okay, sure, let's make it simpler. Okay. So when React was made, things became simpler. So try to understand whatever the new inventions you will see. Okay. The names React, Next, Node.js, whatever you use here, it's actually for you to simplify your things, simplify your life. Okay. It's not something hard. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. So this was a framework built on top of JavaScript, was made for you to easily do stuff. Basically, now same thing, but do it easily and more manageably. Okay, if in future you want to scale, you can scale properly with a perfect, scalable solution, which is React, right? So that's why React came, Next.js came. I hope everybody is making sense of the story. Okay, so let me share my screen for a minute. Let me share my PPT. Give me 1 minute. Okay, so that's where React came, right? That's where React came, React.js. So it's a powerful library for building user interfaces with components-based architecture. So there is a architecture called component-based architecture. What exactly it is? Basically, just think about it like this. So, for example, nav bar is a component. Okay, nav bar. Everybody understand nav bar, navigation bar, where you can see logo, you can see login, sign up at the top. It is always in the top, the navigation bar, generally in the top, maybe sometimes in the side, maybe sometimes in the bottom. But everybody is understanding what is a navigation bar? Yes. Yeah. So in the navigation bar, let's say that is a navigation bar, right? And you might say that in every of my page, let's say home page, about page, contact page, dashboard, that board, whatever pages are there, everywhere you need the same exact nav bar, correct? Every page you need the same exact nav bar. Yes or no? Simple question. Every page needs same exact nav bar. So what React does is you can make nav bar once, make it a component, and you can reuse that component everywhere. So it makes it easier. You don't have to recreate it again and again. Okay. And also there are a lot of algorithmic benefits, okay, of using React and Next that we are going to learn about when we specifically learn about React and Next. Okay. Again, then if React was there, why Next came? Because Next now can do one more extra thing. Next itself can also create backends. That's what it says. Next.js offers server-side rendering. Okay. Again, it gives a lot of benefits, like SEO benefits are there. Overall performance benefits are there. A part of that, you can also make APIs. If you can make your backend in the Next.js. What are APIs? I'm going to cover. Don't worry. But basically, you can write both front end and back end in Next. But in React, it's only front end. Okay, strictly. No backend code should be in React. But in Next, you can add. Cool. Now, we are going to talk about next thing, which is back-end development trends, right? So in this, I talked about Node.js, right? So in backend, there are a lot of options, okay? Lot of options. You can use Python, you can use, what do you mean Next.js? Okay, what do I mean by Next.js is basically you can write, see, it's basically like React. It's basically like React, a lot of more UI fixes have been made. Plus, you can also write your backend in Next. Is it clear? Basically, in React, you can only write front end. In Next.js, you can also write backend. Both front and backend can be written in Next. I hope it is clear, guys. Everybody, yes, no? Everything is clear by now? Correct. Great. I'm gonna go next now. Cool. Now, when I'm talking about backend, what am I talking about? What exactly is backend? Okay. Before learning about Node.js, Python, this, that, what exactly is backend? Right? You know what? Let me show you. Can I ask a question? Yes, yes, yes. Please ask me questions. Okay. Please write your questions in the chat, guys. I'm going to respond to it. Don't worry about it. Okay. 100%. Just write your question in the chat. That's not a problem. Okay. Cool. So guys, everybody, for now, just focus on me. Okay. You understood what is a backend. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Then React. Basically, it's also HTML, CSS, JavaScript. React is just much more easy to do. That's why we use React, right? But it's HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Then what is backend? Okay. Let me show you. I will show everybody. Please watch this very carefully because I'm going to literally show you live API, not my API. Wikipedia's API, let's say. Okay. I'm going to live show you what is an API. Okay. So I want everybody's attention to be in my screen to me. Okay. So I'm going to stop my sharing. Let me share my screen. Cool. I hope everybody can see my screen again. Yes, nice. Cool. So, for example, in this Wikipedia example, right, let me go here. We searched for car, correct? Correct. Now, how did we search? We go to this searching thing and we wrote something here and then car came. We wrote C, we wrote A, we wrote R. Okay. Let me do one thing. If I write C, you see, there is a lot of options. When I write C, there is a lot of options. Yes, no, everybody agrees. When I wrote C, automatically I get these many options. Okay. If I write A, automatically I get whatever matching options are. When I write R, automatically I get these options, correct? Now what's exactly happening? Let's understand. So these data is actually coming from backend. These data are coming from where? The Wikipedia API, the backend. Yes. So how is this coming? How is this coming? Let's see that. Why can't I press backspace? That's weird. Let me just refresh. Okay. Right click, inspect. Okay. Everybody see this. Okay. I basically opened, I just did right click and clicked on inspect. Okay. Again, guys, the thing what I'm doing is not important. Your understanding is important. This session is not about doing, it's about understanding what are you stepping into. Okay. So you're stepping into this. So let me just explain that. Okay. Network. Okay. I hope everybody can see this, right? Everybody can see this. This is a network. Like inside of inspect, there is a section called network. I opened that section. And now here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write C. Okay, when I wrote C, something happened. If you see, guys, there are a lot of images which came, right? So this is the image, right? We are getting all the images. So if you match these images, you will see that these images are actually these images, which you see in the screen, right? So all the images are fetched from this request. That means there is Wikipedia's computer sitting somewhere, which is giving you a response of these images, correct? I told you, right? It will give you a response of images, the HTML, CSS, whatever. Right now, it's giving you a response of images. Now, if you see, a part of these images, you will see something like title question mark Q equals. Everybody can see, right? This is the API. Let me just fetch it. This URL is the API, the backend API. The real backend. I'm showing you real backend right now. Okay. Now, if you see, it's like enwikipedia.erg. It's a REST API. So rest.php. It's based on PHP. So the backend is based on PHP. PHP is older technology. Right now, people don't use PHP that much. It's very little used. But as Wikipedia is very old, I hope everybody knows Wikipedia is way old, right? So that's why I think they are using PHP still. Okay. Version 1, this API is version 1. Okay. I mean, they are just naming it. So it's a search API. API is what API? Search API. Title, then Q equals to this. So it is searching by title. It is searching by what? It is searching by title. And Q equals to this, right? C. So let me write, and limit is 10. Everybody can see limit. So it will only give you 10 results. Basically, that's what it says. How do you know? If you go here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It gives exactly 10 results. Everybody sees that? Limit 10, you understand now? It gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 results. Okay, cool. Now here you press enter, okay, and you get this data. This is backend. This is the backend API. This is made in their backend. This URL is a backend API. This is the data that backend gives you. Okay, from their servers, they are just fetching all the data which is matching the C and limit of 10. First 10 it is giving you. And if you see, these pages is basically first title is C, then it is copyright infringement, then it is copyright law of United States. If you see, it will be in the same order. C, copyright infringement, copyright law of United States. So basically, whatever data this backend is giving, front end is just showing the data. Yes or no? Front end is just showing the data that this backend is giving. Yes, no, everybody understand what I'm trying to say? So this is an API. Now, as I told you that this API is made with PHP. It's an older, technology. Nowadays, we use something called, we can use a lot. Okay, I'm going to give you examples. Okay, then I'm going to tell you what we are using in this, course. So you can use Django. Okay, it is based on Python. You can use Flask. Okay, you can use Flask. Let me write one by one. Flask you can use. Flask is also based on Python. It's lightweight, very lightweight, easy to learn. You can use Node.js. That's what we are going to use. Okay. Why? Because it is based on JavaScript. It is based on JavaScript. So basically you are learning JavaScript on front end, right? So you have to implement similar JavaScript on the back end as well. There are a few changes, but you can implement the similar backend to JavaScript as well. PHP, yes, absolutely. We saw PHP, right, just now. So that is also an example. So generally, this is really good. Node.js. Django is really good. Okay, Django is huge. Node.js is huge. People also use Spring Boot. Spring Boot. It is based on Java. I hope everybody knows about this language. It's a pretty famous language, Java, right? Laravel framework. Yes, Laravel is awesome. Okay. Ruby on Rails, Laravel, list will not end. Okay. Basically, these are few frameworks, right? Learn some Java. That's good. That's good. Okay. Cool, guys. So these are some examples. There are a lot. These are some examples of this. And we are going to use this. Okay. Why? Because you have already learned JavaScript. It's easy to pick it up, the backend development here. Okay. And see, try to understand. Please try to understand. We are creating exactly the same thing with this. We are creating exactly the same thing with this. So the thing we are creating is exactly the same. It's like the means of creating that is different. You understand what I'm saying, right? The means of creating that is different, but the thing we are creating is exactly same. Okay. All are creating APIs, same APIs. Okay. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that once you learn one technology, you can easily pick up other. Okay, so it's just matter of learning one technology, but completely. Okay, nowadays please try to understand, half knowledge does not work in this industry. Okay, that work, mediocre people stopped working, basically that doesn't work. Okay, you have to get to a knowledge base which is very good. Okay, then only you can enter this domain, right? Because nowadays AI came, right? After that, competition is even more. It's not they're taking jobs and all, but it's like competition is even more. The understanding level goes even deeper, because you can ask AI questions like, hey, I'm not help me understand this. Or you have to understand the whole development process to actually use AI. Okay, so there are a lot of things around it, but basically the main thing is you have to have a complete knowledge of things before you jump into other. So don't just learn it half and then jump into here. Learn full of this, then jump into other, or learn full of that, then jump into other. Okay, don't change your stack. People do this mistake a lot. They change their stack again and again, without learning one stack completely. That's a disaster. Cool. What about big companies? Software front-end requests only language use Java, not allowed. Big companies actually use Java a lot, Spring Boot a lot. They also use, no, they use C Sharp and all for, like, just, yeah, you can make APIs through this as well. Okay, but they use Java a lot actually, nowadays. All the big four, all the Google, like, all the big companies, Google, Meta, everybody uses Spring Boot. Everybody. I was just 2 or 3 days back. I was just with my friend. You know, he works in San Francisco, Google. So that guy is actually, working on Spring Boot. So doesn't matter what you are learning right now. Okay, and also one more thing, they are also hiring for Node.js. Google is actually also hiring for Node.js as a backend. Okay, so it doesn't matter which stack you learn. You just learn one stack. Let's say, okay, you might have this you might have this doubt that what if I learn this stack? What if I learn this stack and my favorite company needs this stack? It does not matter. That's the thing I'm telling you, that you can easily learn this stack if you have learned fully this stack. Okay, people do not see your tech stack. People see your depth of backend knowledge. People see your depth of backend knowledge. How much backend do you know? Hey, try to understand. I'm going to make the same API. Like, I'm going to make this same API using, I just told you, right? I can make this same API using PHP. I can make this same API using Spring Boot. I can make this same API using Node.js. Same thing. I'm making the same exact thing. The thing, what they see is how deep you know backend, the technology, not the tech stack. Okay, not the tech stack. But again, Node.js is one of the best booming tech stack in the market right now. Okay, you can search that on internet. Google, Meta, everybody hires Node.js developers. Okay, everybody, as tech stack where Node.js is, they will hire. Okay, just for the knowledge. But again, it doesn't mean that you might, in future you might say that, hey, this company likes Node Django. Go ahead and give the interview. You already know backend. Doesn't matter. Nobody will ever see that. Okay, as a blocker. Cool. So guys, I hope everybody got to understand what is a backend and how backend works, and what are the examples that we can use for backend. Cool. So let's go to the next part now. Okay, so now, this, if you see guys, example API demo, this is how APIs are built in the backend. Okay, this is specifically written in Node.js. Okay, so app.get, if you guys see app, so app is like the backend express app, we call it. Okay, it's an instance of express. Okay, don't worry what is exactly app is, but basically we are making an API which is with of get method. What is a get method? It's just going to get some information, that's all. Okay, this is the API URL. Okay, like if you saw in the Wikipedia example, it was like /search/title. Everybody remembers? /search/title. It's like that, /API/products. Okay. Let me just open the chat as well. Yeah, I can see now. Okay. So inside this, we are doing something. We are responding. The res means response. Okay. In JSON format. JSON, don't worry what is a JSON format. Some data format. Okay. We are responding with this data. ID1, name laptop, ID2, name phone. This is the data that we are giving to front end. We are responding to front end. So it's just an example if you wanted to see how it works. Again, this session is not about the code. It's about understanding what are you stepping into. Cool. So let's now talk about some database technologies. Now, when we talk about backend is actually connected with databases. Okay. What are these databases? Anyone? What is database? Come on in the chat. Whatever you think, guys. It's whatever you think. Just write that down in the chat. It doesn't matter if it is wrong, right, doesn't matter. The data, where the data is stored, a collection of data storage, where the user data is stored. Yeah, absolutely. All of your things are correct. Gathering data in format. Yes. Okay, absolutely. Database is where you store the data. Very simple. But there are some criterias. Criteria like I can store data on my notepad. Correct. I can store data on my notepad. I can make that notepad public so that it acts as a database. Please try to understand that. Understand what I'm trying to tell you. What about Oracle? Yes, exactly. I'm going to come to that, examples and everything. But just listen to me first. What is a database? What database are you using? Are you using Oracle SQL? Are you using MS SQL? Are you using SQLite? Are you using MySQL, Postgres, MongoDB? Not talking about that. I'm talking about what is a database. What I'm going to do today is I have a notepad in my mobile. Okay. That notepad when I write some notes, it saves on a folder, correct? It saves on a folder. Yes, no? Very simple things, guys. I'm telling you, how do you make a database from scratch? What you do, I told you, right? Amazon.com is one room of your house, right? So this folder, I can make this folder public somehow. Don't worry how I'm making the folder public. So I'm connected to, so try to understand, my mobile is connected to the internet. The internet can, like, what I can do is I can make this folder public to the internet somehow. Okay. I have a database, right? I mean, it has a lot of data. I can modify it. I can retrieve data. The problem is there are a few problems, the security. There is no security at all, correct? I mean, anybody can access the data. There's no security at all. There is, the data is not structured. The data is not structured. It's not scalable. If I'm thinking about keeping data of a million users, million products, million people, a lot of things goes inside of database. Okay, a lot of things go. Text file cannot handle that. It will break badly. Okay, so no text files. Okay, so I can call database a database only if these things can happen. Secure scalability will be there, security will be there. Okay, so in that case, these are some examples: MongoDB, PostgreSQL, MySQL. There are others as well. Basically there are two kinds of database: SQL and no SQL. SQL means table format database. No SQL means no format. It's basically a JSON format database. Okay, so don't worry about what kind of database we are going to use. Basically, all these database, the main point is all these database are secured, are scalable. All these database are equivalently good. Few are better than others on some things, on some over some technologies, but all can do fairly good for your app. Okay, so I hope everybody got to understand what a database is. Okay, so there are a lot of security protocols goes in the database. A lot of scalability issues are fixed and properly, programmer has made the storage properly scalable, properly achievable, properly attainable. That's what a database is. Doesn't matter what you use. You use MongoDB, you use Postgres, you use MySQL. Cool. Let's go next. I get you. Nice. Version control, CI/CD pipelines. Now, what is that? Okay. Let's say you made front-end code, you made back-end code, you wrote database, everything's done. Okay. Now, what you do is you need to host your front-end and your back-end, right? Can you make your own database like in-house? Yeah, why not? People have, I mean, I'm not sure. I read a lot of, tech articles. I think few days back, just search about it. Few days back, people actually do these kind of experiments. I mean, we can do this experiment in the sessions. So it doesn't matter. Basically, yes, you can make a database. Okay, you can make a database on yourself. Which is the best database? No one is best. It depends on what your usage looks like. Okay, and how do you decide which is you going to be used? First of all, learn one, okay, fully. Then you see what's bad in this, what's good in this, then you decide which database to go for. Oracle is for high usage? No. Even MongoDB can scale. Netflix, all the big companies you have heard about, uses NoSQL database like Mongo. So again, whichever fits perfectly, in your app. And there is a lot of things goes to think about it. You cannot just look at and tell that, hey, this is going to work better. That's not possible. Okay. It's your app, it's your architecture, it's a lot of things goes into that. Okay, to decide which database you're going to use. Again, it is 19, like it's like 99% and 100%, like it's just 1% difference. Just because of the 1% difference, you might choose this but not that. Okay, what important? A lot of things. That's what I'm saying. So that is based on like your architecture of your app. Okay, and there is above 150 parameters that you have to see at least on your app. What that is going to be, I cannot tell you right now. It's going to be very long sessions. Okay. So, but yes, it's not that simple to just exactly tell you which is better for what. Okay. There's no proper calculation. And if somebody says that this calculation exists, don't believe that. Don't believe any calculations like that. Okay. Cool, guys, everybody. Now, listen to me. Now you have made your front end, you have made your backend, you have made your database. Everything is done. Okay. It's running on your laptop. Only you can see this, nobody else. That's bad. Now you have to host it. Okay. So basically, you will use something called GitHub, or there are other as well, other like GitLab is there, there is Atlassian Bitbucket is there. Okay. So a lot of things. So you basically also, you might think that, hey, this is version 1 of my app. What's version 2 will look like? What is that extra feature which will add in the version 2, right? Those version control decisions will happen with Git, something called Git. Okay. So version control is very important. Pushing your code to GitHub, very important. Why? Because when you push your code to GitHub, you can, let's say go ahead and, get a server and, run that onto that. CI/CD automations are nothing but, some automations made for making your life easy. Okay. For example, when you push the code, it will run some test in the background. It will do a lot of testing in the background. You don't have to do that. Okay. And a lot of things will happen. But important for designing with database, say banks is still COBOL. Will we touch on it? Yes, exactly. You know what? You are right. You are right. Okay. It is still on COBOL. Why? Why is it? Why is it that they don't want to change? That's a very good point, right? Why is it that they don't want to change? Okay. They don't want to change viruses. Yes. Very important. Like it's very old, right? It's legacy, right? There are very few people who can code on COBOL right now. Okay. And and it's out of modern app network. It's out of modern app network. It's not inside that. Okay. Also, if you are thinking of migration, if you're thinking of migration, there is a lot of effort, power, money, and a lot of intent goes to it. It will take a lot of time to just do that. Maybe they're working on it. Maybe we don't know, right? So yeah, that is few reasons, I think. But I would tell you, here in India, um, few banks are actually transforming, to latest technologies. But again, it will take time. Doesn't happen in 2 years. Are those all four separate tools platform? Yep, exactly. So Git and GitHub is basically for collaborations, controlling your versions. Okay, collaborations and controlling your versions. CI/CD automations are very simple. Just understand them like this for now. That you know things that you don't want to do yourself, this CI/CD automation will do it for you. Okay. Docker is very simple. Okay, Docker, to understand Docker, guys, you tell me one thing. Have you experienced this? I'm not sure. I mean, I used to play a lot of games, a lot of PC games. A software that works on my computer doesn't work on my friend's computer. Does this happen to anybody here? The thing that works on my mobile phone or my computer does not work on other computer, right? Why? Why is that? Why is that? Maybe both of you are using Windows, both of you are using Android, whatever, right? But it does not work. That feature or that whole app does not work. It's because of environment. Okay. Environment that your friend is using might be different than the environment that you are using. Your environment is perfect, okay, for running that app. Now, what is environment? It might be version of your softwares. Okay, a lot of softwares are there in a computer which runs that software, right? So version of all those softwares are appropriate for you but not for your friend. Work on mine but published to production not working. Exactly, that is exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, work on your side, it's working, right? Your side is working, but when you publish to production, it doesn't work. Now, production is what? It's a computer, correct? In that computer it doesn't work, in your computer it works. It's because of environment. Docker helps you there. Docker, what it does, it creates an environment within. Okay, so whatever environment you are having in your computer, it will be same environment in your production. It will be same environment in your friend's computer. That's what Docker gives you, same similar environment. Okay, I'm going to repeat. Very simple. Let's say there are some apps that doesn't work in your, it works in your but doesn't work in other, right? So, or let's say this example is also good, where you, when you publish to production, it doesn't work there, right? It happens because, let's say, the React version or the Node version or some version or some OS version, something is different there than in your computer. Okay. Yes, I think you will be having the recordings. Don't worry about that, guys. Everybody focus here right now. So some version differences are there or some anomaly are there. The environment is different. That's why it's not working. So Docker creates an inbuilt environment for you. So you don't have to go out of Docker. Everything will run inside Docker now. What happens is you're not running directly on your computer. You're running it on Docker. So Docker is actually running it on its own environment. That environment is same in my computer, your computer, anybody's computer. So we just made the environment same. That's all. Okay, for all computers throughout. Cool. Jenkins and GitHub Actions. Basically, these are leading tools for automating deployment workflows, building, testing, all sort of things. Okay. Again, guys, these are very, very huge topics that we'll go to one by one in the sessions. Right now, just try to understand what exactly you are stepping into. Okay. Like cloud. Like cloud means, what do you mean? Like cloud, I didn't understand. Like cloud means, are you talking about even in the cloud? Yes, in the cloud as well. What is cloud? Cloud is nothing but a computer. Please try to understand. Let's say I take my PC and I make it public in the internet. So you can also access my PC sitting in your house. That's cloud. Nothing else. Okay. You do not understand Docker yet. Okay. So let's think it like this, simple. Let's say an app which works in your computer does not works in your friend's computer. But somehow, what you do is whatever environment your computer has, exact environment, maybe you have a lot of applications that is important for running this app, right? There are a lot of application which is important for running this app. You basically make exact clone of the environment or in which your computer has to your friend's computer, then it will start working. Does that make sense? Yes, no? Does that make sense? Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Docker helps to do this. Exactly this. Nothing else. Yeah, no. Guys, publishing is what? Where are you publishing? Where are you publishing? You're publishing where? Cloud? No, you're publishing that is called cloud. That is basically a computer. Let's say my computer here, let's say my mobile phone is the cloud. You understand? Not my mobile phone. Let's say my computer is the cloud. So what you are doing is you are connecting with my computer. You are hosting your website in my computer. It's a computer, right? So Docker should work there. So Docker work everywhere, right? Okay. And guys, we will go to one by one basics of everything, how to deploy, how to do every single thing. Don't worry. Okay. Right now, just try to understand the model, the whole thing. Okay. Now, cloud deployment, right? We have Vercel, right, or EC2 for hosting. Now, what is Vercel? What is EC2? Is basically nothing. I talked about computer, right, in the cloud, like computer not in the cloud, but computer which is connected to internet, which gives you services. Basically, these are the computers which gives you services, which host your code. Meaning, you are running your code on your laptop, right? Production means running your code on this cloud computer, okay, where you keep your code that runs your code. That is public. This is public, amazon.com. Okay, it is public. Now that's what hosting is. Okay, you can use Vercel or EC2. EC2 is from AWS, and Vercel is a very good one. So yes, we have to point your domain, like you have a domains, right? To point your domain name to your deployed application. I told you, right? There is IP address and there is domain, right? So you need to point towards this domain. So how is it connected? So via Route 53 for DNS, or Vercel has their own, right? You can connect your domain with your IP address. Remember IP address, guys? Every computer has a IP address. You need to connect your IP address with a domain, right? So how do you connect those two things? Vercel has inbuilt, and in AWS you can use a Route 53 for domain name system. Then S3 Lambda is basically S3 is for storage, right? General storage, like if you want to store images, files, stuff, you can use S3. Using S3 for electricity. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, okay. So basically what you're saying is when you download your bills, it is AWS S3 something something, right? If I'm not wrong. Like when the PDF you're talking about, what are you talking about? Everything. Okay. No. S3 stores stuff. S3 is like a bucket where you store images, where you store everything. So basically what you're saying is your governmental images bill prepaid. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Your images, your billing, your prepaid, everything is stored on S3. Makes sense. Even I think ours as well is on S3. S3 is the largest. S3 is the largest. So yeah, it makes sense. Cool. So yeah, that is, and you know what? S3 is really secured. I mean, it can be and it cannot be as well. So um, try this. I'm not sure if this happens. So basically, S3 link, there is a S3 link, right? aws.s3 or something. So if you like, if you use that link, it will open. When you open, like click on the link. If you send that link, I'm not sure if it is working on South Africa. If you send that link over, it will not work. So there is a feature on S3 which does that, to secure things. Okay. I'm not sure if it is done there in your, electric department, but generally there is a feature. Okay, I mean, I generally teach that feature in the session as well, so that's what I'm saying. Okay, so yeah, guys, that is what whole full stack journey looks like. Okay, um, it's mastering full stack journey is not just about writing code. It's about you know cultivating system level mindset. Okay, again, I'm saying that's why I said, right, stack doesn't matter. It's about, you need to understand the backend, you need to understand the front end. Front end can be anything. Backend can be, I hope everybody understood the data, in a processed manner. So so basically, it's all about understanding. Okay, how much do you understand? How deeply do you understand? Right? So that's what we tend for. That's what we do here. Okay, it's about making a lot of projects. We learn by doing. That's the only way. I cannot promise you, if you say, hey, I'm not gonna work, I cannot promise you anything. That's not possible. Okay, it's that we both have to work towards a goal. You have to code a lot, you have to make projects. Okay, and then slowly and steadily everything happens. Okay, so but you have to be very consistent in this whole thing. So guys, that's pretty much it. Can we follow up community? Okay, so okay guys, so basically yes, full stack development, obviously guys, vibe coding is a very different thing. You know, who can vibe code perfectly? Who can vibe code perfectly? The one who knows the code, not the one who does not know the code. Vibe coding was never meant for the people who just want to, you know, who do not know code. Okay, everybody, if you don't know about vibe code is very simple. Go to AI, just tell them to make a to-do list. It will make a to-do list for you. Just example. Okay, and there can be even deeper coding techniques are there. But basically, vibe coding is not for people who do not understand things. It's for people who understand things fully. Then you can vibe code better. Okay. Industries, companies want you to use all the AI tools to code. That's fine. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. The problem is, if you don't know, how things are working, if you don't know the system level architecture, if you don't know how backend actually works, then you will never be able to code. Use any AI. Okay, you will never be able to build a substantial app. You can obviously say that, hey, build a to-do list app, that's all. Okay, you cannot build something incredible. That's not possible. Cool. Cool, guys. That is it, guys. Thank you for being here. I'll see a lot of responses are there, guys. All your doubts will be covered by Ramesh here. We have everybody. Okay, so be there with them. If you have any questions, anything you want to ask about, me or course and everything, it will be done. Cool. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much, guys. The community, yeah, a community and everything. Look, whatever the questions you guys have, everything will be answered, by Ramesh and others. Okay, people will be connecting with you, don't worry. Follow-ups for what? Didn't get you, Albert. For this, oh yeah, I think people will get connected, don't worry. So they will respond to everything. Whatever you have doubt, please ask. Cool, guys, that's it. Okay, and you know what, just one last thing for all of you. Okay, I know. We have a lot of questions. I know. We'll be, wrapping up for now. Okay. Just one thing, one special advice to all of you. When you are learning something, learn it deeply. It's a very, very dangerous era right now. Okay. You have to go very deep into things. Okay. You have to understand things very, very deeply. Okay. So whatever you learn, full stack, whatever. Okay. Learn it very deeply. Okay. That's one very important thing. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. I'm from Tanzania. This. Yep, I understand. So I think this recording will be with you guys. Also, people will connect with you. So don't worry about that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. How do you know? How do I know more than me? I have, okay, how many? Okay, because I have done it more than anybody else, anyone else. That's what. It's a very simple thing. If you do one thing every single day with full dedication, you will learn it. Simple as that. Okay, cool guys. Cool, cool, cool. Other day. Night. Okay, okay, okay. Cool, cool, cool. That's fine. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye.